Hello YouTube, welcome to a new Anatomy video. GForce Software, the company from Dave Spiers, has today released OBE, an emulation of the iconic Oberheim 8-voice synthesizer. It was built between 1977 and 1980 and was loved by many for its fat, characterful sound. Today the synthesizer is extremely rare and for most musicians priceless. For this reason, Dave Spiers and his development team decided to reissue it as a plugin with the same but also new features. One thing in advance, unfortunately it's currently only a plugin for Intel and M1 Macs. They haven't yet decided whether a Windows version will come out or not. Before we go deeper in the OBE sound engine, here a little sound appetizer. As already said, the GForce Software OBE is based on the Oberheim 8-voice, and the 8-voice is based on the XAM modules, which you may know mainly from the Arturia XAM-V emulation and so on. And as you can see here, you have 8 XAM modules, and compared to other emulations, you have here 8 modules which can be detuned and be set in different ways. And as you can see here, for example, on module 1, you have 2 oscillators, the VCF, 2 envelopes, and your LFO, so very basic ZEM module. But they also added some new features, and what is here very nice, you can here also zoom in, and so you get one entire module. And on the right side, you can see the rear panel here, and that's the new thing here. You get one oscillator more, so you have VCO 3, and this can be used as a typical VCO with saw, sine, and square. Or you activate here the LFO rate, and you get an additional LFO. That's very practical. And you have here also the velocity control, and that's a big thing here because you can modulate everything here with velocity, so frequency, the mode, the resonance, and so on. And this gives you a very dynamic and expressive synthesizer because the OBE is also supported by MPE and so on. And one thing is very clever here, which I really love, is that the OBE is not only an 8-voice synthesizer, but also a classic ZEM emulation. For this, you go here to mono, and then you can play the OBE as a classic ZEM emulation. Of course, also with the third oscillator here, and with the full velocity and aftertouch support. That's a great way to discover the power of one ZEM module, but if you want to discover all 8, you can also go here to Poly, and I get all 8 ZEM modules. And what is here very nice in my opinion, you get here for each row of 4, you get here a section where you can change the levels and adjust the pans, so you can pan the different voices to the left or the right or in the middle. So you have here an upper module section and a lower section module. And you can also copy and paste different settings, what is also very nice. And if you say now, I want to change the cutoff frequency of all 8 modules, you can also go here to group and then change the parameters here altogether, what is very nice here. Or you want to change here the frequency, you go here to group again and then change the frequency. That's quite clever and is very hands-on here for me. And for me also nice is here that you have an undo and a redo functionality here. Also you have here a lock function, so if you said I want only to change the parameters of the upper section, you can here lock the different modules here, and if you go here to group, then the parameters only change on these sections, and it's also very handy here. You can also mute different modules, and so you can get a 5-voice, a 4-voice, a 2-voice, and so on. So it's very flexible how you can change it. And of course, you get here a master section for each lower module and upper section. And these modules can be played in poly, in mono, and legato, and of course also in unison. And so you can play all 8 voices also in mono, what makes a really fat sound. Another powerful and creative functionality is here the split function. It splits the voices in two sections. You have here the upper module section and the lower section module. And as you can see here, you have here then on the left side the upper module, and the right side, or you have here the lower section here, and on the right side the upper section. And so you can create different sounds on the left side and also on the right side. And it gives you also very versatile patches. OBE has also a polyphonic sequencer on board, so you go here to sequencer, and you can see it's very classic. It's not extremely feature rich, but it's very essential for me, so it gives you everything you need. And you can change here the notes, the gate and the velocity. You can also put note input here. You have different modes, you can change the rhythm and so on. And you can also change the start of the them. And it's quite a cool feature, so you can get for every note you play a different module here. And that in combination with the sequencer gives you a super powerful sound design tool. So for example, you can get on module 1 a specific sound like a drum sound, then a module 2 again a bass sound, then again a drum sound and so on. And it gives you a very versatile tool to creating very experimental oriented sequences and so on. interesting functionality of the sequencer is the output section here. So you can either output the notes to all modules, so you get a very classic sequence, or you can output it to the SAM8, so you can sequence only this module 8, and then you can play another sound on it. So you can create with the other 7 modules a sound that you can play then on the sequence of module 8. You can also go deeper and split it again, and then you get 3 sounds which you can play. So you have one sequence on the module 8, you have one bass sound here, for example, and with the 3 other modules, you have the lead sounds. So you have up to 3 sounds, what makes it super powerful in my opinion. Then OBE has a vintage-inspired stereo delay effect processor on the end of the signal chain. For this you go here to the sequence effects section, and you can see you have here the time section. You can modulate it with the LFO, with the feedback, with the high pass filter, and what is very practical in my opinion is that you can apply the stereo delay here to the lower section, to the upper section or the above section, so you are very flexible how you can use it. Then you have also on the left side here 2 VCO controls, and this is applied to all the VCOs, so the VCO1 and VCO2. That is very practical for performances. Then you have here the portamento, also applicable to the upper section, lower section and above. Then you have here the vibrato, same to the upper, lower and above. And you have here the tune section, where you can tune the synth and go up in octave and down in octave. And also so you can also here MIDI CC. This is also very easy here made. And of course it has a patch management here, which is very easy made. So factory presets, user presets and tags, and now some patches. And then I will give you my final review. All in all, the OBE is a great sounding virtual analog synthesizer. It sounds analog style fat, is versatile, and uses relatively little CPU power. Big points for this. The presets are also excellent. These are often weak in soft synths. Here they are very useful and very good. Great job. I also really like the ability to split sounds in different ways. This opens up new possibilities to use OBE. How exactly or how near OBE is to an original 8-voice Oberheim, I cannot say, as I don't have one, but I would be happy to have one. Unfortunately, there's no arpeggiator or macro controls. The latter would be super practical, especially in a knob-rich synthesizer like the OBE. The missing Windows version is also a point of criticism, but I hope that one comes in the near future. Let me know in the comments below your opinion and also maybe your questions. I will try to answer them as soon as possible. And as usual, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a positive thumb and a subscription for more future videos. Big thanks, and hope to see you again in one of the next Synth Anatomy videos.